What's going on, everybody? My name is Tuck. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys are staying happy and hydrated, and welcome to another channel update video. This is going to be the second video like this that I've made on the channel, just talking about how the channel's going, things I want to do, and then I have some questions at the end that I'm going to answer, provided from the lovely people of mainly Twitter, because I forgot to ask Instagram. Honestly, Instagram probably wouldn't have given me questions anyway, because it's a picture book no one knows how to read over there. And then TikTok, no one ever really asks questions on TikTok unless you piss them off and they want to, like, be super petty. And then Facebook, the fuck would I ask Facebook for? But the last video I made like this was a few months ago. It was right before Far Cry 6 came out, which literally did like the day before it came out, because I made the video, posted it, looked at Ubisoft, saw that the game came out literally the next day, and then bought it. And I was like, well, that's great timing on my part. So, but the way I have this laid out in my head is I'm going to talk about my goals I have first. I'm going to talk about things I'm going to do second. And then third, I might talk about some just miscellaneous stuff. Then I'm going to hop right into the questions. There's not a lot really to talk about any update stuff, because not much has really happened. So first and foremost, the goal we are working towards here right now on the channel mainly is we are trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. The year is 2021 when I'm recording this, if that's not obvious. The way we're going about that is I kind of move the goalpost every 10 subscribers. Right now, the current goalpost is set at 1930. We're currently sitting at 1927 subs. At least it was like right before I hit record. So every 10 subscribers, we move the goalpost for a new short-term goal, but the ultimate goal we're working towards is 2,000 right now. Now, goal number 2 here on the channel that we're working towards, arguably the more important one, because this one's going to help out way more than the subscriber count, but they kind of go hand in hand. Goal number 2 is we're trying to average roughly about 100 views per video. Right now, we're probably sitting at like maybe half of that, maybe a little bit more than half of that, depending on what video I upload. My COD videos, probably about 50 to 60 views per video. My Let's Plays, after they kind of run their course the way it goes right now, probably about 30 to 40 views per video. So I'm just going to say 50 is a good ballpark number for the videos that I'm averaging right now, not counting my outlier videos, because I do have some videos that just pop off. Like my colorblind settings video for Vanguard, I think at the time of recording this has like 3,300 views. I'm not going to count that into the average, so we're not counting that one because that would boost up the numbers way too much, and it would give me a false reading, obviously. And then moving on to the third and final goal that I talk about in most of my videos, I am trying to join Obey Alliance as a content creator. That has not been a secret. That's been ongoing for about a month now. I'm trying to work and get my averages up and my subscriber count up to work towards that goal. I don't want to list that goal last as like a sign of disrespect or like a lack of interest towards that goal. It just kind of is one of those goals that won't really happen unless the other two happen first. So no disrespect to any Obey members, any Obey management that sees this video. The Obey thing was put last because it can't happen without the other two happening first, if that makes sense. I have to build myself up as a person first before I try to join a team like Obey. Obey is a professional organization. They want to work with professionals. Professionals are good at what they do. I'm trying to get good at what I do. That is my line of thinking. Those are the 3 goals I'm working towards right now on the channel, the one I'm putting the most effort into. Of course, you have like your smaller time goals, like you want to make better content every day. That's just kind of stuff that everybody says. It's kind of stuff everybody should be doing. I am doing that behind the scenes. You guys aren't going to see that, but there are incremental improvements in all my videos. If you look hard enough, I promise they're there. Honestly, at this point, the biggest thing that I think I could do to make my content slightly better and trend in the right direction is I think I want to try to get a better camera, because that would help both this channel for these videos, and then my gym vlogs and my vlogs in general would get way better. Because right now for my gym vlogs, if you don't know, my second channel, I'll link that in the top right corner right now, is my gym/baseball channel. I'm using my iPhone 12 Pro Max, I think that's what it's called, as my camera for that, which it's 4K 30 FPS. It looks good enough for what I'm trying to do, but it could look better. So like, yeah, just the camera thing right now, it's something I would like, but I just don't know if I can justify getting a new one right now, because this channel doesn't justify getting a new camera like that, and my second channel, especially right now with the way content over there has been going, also doesn't really justify it. Because like, it would really help out my second channel in terms of like my baseball content, but it's December, it's cold as fuck. I'm not doing baseball stuff right now, so I don't have to worry about that right now. If I get gifted one, cool. If I have to buy one, it's probably not going to happen right now. But moving on past this to the second thing I mentioned, which is going to be games. What am I going to be doing here on this channel? So Vanguard, I'm going to continue to do Vanguard content. I'm going to continue to make the class setups, because that's going to take a little bit to finish those. I'm going to continue to make some challenge videos and pubs. I would love to transition into doing competitive content, but I need to wait on that playlist to happen. And then I could also run some GBs with the homies if they're into that idea. But for the most part, it just relies on a lot of stuff on like Activision and Sledgehammer's end, because the competitive side of Vanguard is completely fucked at the moment. Like, there's not even a third game mode at the time of recording this, which really sucks because the first Challengers event is in like 8 days. So I'm sorry to any Challenger players. I'm sorry to any of those of you that are trying to play this game competitively seriously. I'm just doing it for content. If you're trying to make like a career out of this, I sincerely apologize because this is just not our fucking year for that. Moving beyond that, the other games I have going on the channel right now, technically Cyberpunk 2077 is still an ongoing game because I have not finished it. I have like 2 more episodes in that series that I'm gonna finish at some point. I don't know when, but I need to finish them at some point to close the book on that series, so look forward to those like last 2 episodes for Cyberpunk. And then Far Cry 6 on the channel. I have way more episodes compared to Cyberpunk on Far Cry 6, so the plan is I need to get those videos pushed out. I would like to finish it before Halo Infinite comes out for the single player. I don't think that's gonna happen, so I'm gonna have to work out an upload schedule to where I can finish Far Cry, finish Cyberpunk, while also trying to get consistent content pushed out for Halo Infinite, because Halo Infinite is going to be the next big game that I tackle here on the channel, especially for single player. And then I don't know when it's coming out, but I would really love to play Dying Light 2 here on the channel as well, but I don't know anything about that game. I see trailers for it all the time, I see teasers for it, but beyond that, I don't know when that game comes out. So as far as the games go, for this video specifically, that's all I really have for you guys. If you guys have games that you want to see me play, the comment section is down below. By all means, please tell me and I'll try to make it happen. And then the miscellaneous stuff, just little upgrades that I would like to make to the setup. I kind of already talked about it. I would like a new camera, but like I can't really justify getting a new camera. The biggest thing I could probably justify getting right now is like a decent actual light source. Right now, the thing I'm using for lighting isn't bad. It's not great. It could be way better, and that's probably just one of the few things I'll actually take the time and money to invest into, getting an actual decent light source that goes behind my camera to improve my videos a little bit. So that is probably going to be the biggest change I make in the near future whenever it comes to stuff like this. But as far as that goes, that is really all I have for this part of the video pertaining to like channel goals, how I'm going to work towards them, what my plans are, things I want to do here on the channel, and things I want to get to upgrade my setup. So with that said, let's move on to the Q&A right now. The people that are going to be asking the questions, their names are going to be on screen. It's going to be attached with the tweet on screen, so go give them a follow because I want to thank them for taking the time to actually give me questions for this video. This entire video is being recorded after I came home from the gym. Today was leg day, which means my brain is absolute mush. It's going to be hard for me to get thoughts across because I am so tired right now. But I'm not going to answer these questions in any particular order because if you see my phone, they're not really in any order. They're just kind of screenshotted from the thread of tweets. So I'm going to start off with the one that's going to get me the most interactions and probably the most hate because the green wall, the OpTic fan base, just likes to talk about things positive or negative, and they'll go either direction with anything that I say. So the first question is from GPA Grandpa Pengu on Twitter. These are all from Twitter, by the way, if I didn't say that already. He says, what's it like to be an OpTic fan and how did you find out about Competitive Cod? So first and foremost, let's start off with the second question. How did I find out about Competitive Cod? Because it ties into the OpTic thing. So I started playing Call of Duty online in 2009. It was MW2, obviously, and MW2 was a big time for YouTube content. It was also a big time for like sniper montages and stuff like that whenever that first broke onto the scene. So one of the people that was like really big in the montage making game back then was OpTic Predator, M40A3 Predator, before he joined OpTic, I think. So I literally got into competitive Call of Duty because I was a fan of him. I found out about OpTic, I became a fan of OpTic and their content, and then fast forward a few years into MW3 whenever they competed at COD XP and won the $1 million tournament. That is basically when I started to pay attention to like esports actual for Call of Duty in its early stages, so that's the easy answer for that. Another answer is I kind of got into competitive Call of Duty in a different way in MW2 because I was really into the competitive sniping community. Basically, you played headquarters and then you played CTF, but you only used interventions and you could only use certain perks. Certain perks were even GA'd back in 2009, so that just shows you how broken Call of Duty's always been from a competitive standpoint, but that is the easy answer into how I got into competitive Call of Duty. Now, the OpTic thing. What's it like to be an OpTic fan? It's the same as being a fan for any different type of thing. Like if you see my sweater right here, I'm a Washington Nationals fan. Also back there, my Nationals hat, and then my high school hat, and then a routine baseball hat, which is a clothing brand. But it's the same as anything else. Like I enjoy the competition. I watch the competition. In terms of Call of Duty, there's not really many teams you can root for that are actually like worth rooting for because you have like OpTic, you had Dallas, but Dallas and OpTic are now the same entity, and then you had like FaZe. And then beyond that, like, the other teams don't really make the content that's on par with, like, FaZe and OpTic and Dallas. Now, I'm not saying the rest of the content in the CDL is bad, but it just doesn't really compare to OpTic. Like, I've seen the Minnesota Rockers content, I've seen the Toronto Ultras content, I've seen some other content from other teams. New York might be the next closest team in terms of, like, actual content that I enjoy watching. That's kind of like the one perk to being an OpTic fan, is I'm always going to have content at the very least. Even if the team isn't winning, there's always going to be stuff to watch. There's always going to be entertainment because everybody's going to be talking about OpTic. There's going to be OpTic content always being made. OpTic is always going to be in the realm of discussion. So, like, as far as the organization standpoint goes, it's great being an OpTic fan. Where it becomes less great to be an OpTic fan is whenever I have to interact with the part of the green wall that is crumbling under its own stupidity. Now, like, I am a part of the green wall. I identify as a part of the green wall. It's in my Twitter bio. The green wall is the biggest friend and the biggest enemy to the green wall. There is a part of the green wall that I refuse to associate with because they just have the worst takes known to man. They are so irrational. They don't understand how competition works. They got spoiled by the, like, few years in a row where OpTic was, like, super duper good, and then they just kind of forgot that, like, it's not normal to win every event. Like, the best teams don't always win. The best players don't always win. So, like, a TLDR of this entire thing, it's great to be an OpTic fan from the content and the organization standpoint. The other half of the green wall fan base is really, really just something I never want to associate with, and I don't even claim them as an OpTic fan, to be honest. Now, these next two questions are going to be kind of combined into one answer because they're kind of asking the same thing in different ways. CJ asks, favorite part of content creation, and then Juju asks, when did you know that content creation was what you wanted to do for a living? So I'm going to answer these in one big answer. My favorite part of content creation is that I'm basically my own boss. If I don't want to do something, I don't have to ask somebody. If I don't want to do it, I just don't do it. If I want to start doing something, again, I just do it. I don't have to go through a third party. Nothing can happen without me being the catalyst or directly involved with it, which I think is the best part. Like, that's kind of why I was a pitcher in baseball. Like, literally nothing happened in the game until I decided it was time for it to happen. Now, that's like the biggest mental reward for it. Obviously, you're going to get the dopamine release if you see success on the timeline, but you can't be guaranteed success. You can't expect success, because if you expect success, that's called entitlement, and that's not good, because whenever you're entitled, you work less, and then that just leads down a rabbit hole of failure. So we're not going to expect success. We're going to work for things, and whenever things work out, we're going to be pleasantly surprised. Like, my obvious other answer for favorite part of content creation is going to be the money that I get from it, which, like, don't get that twisted. I make money from YouTube. I don't make a lot of money from YouTube. Those are two different things, which kind of leads into the next question. When did you know that content creation is what you wanted to do for a living? I've been making content on YouTube off and on since, honestly, 2010. I have my HD PVR, the old school recording software device, over there in my closet somewhere. I used to make Call of Duty videos way back in the day in 2010. That channel still kind of exists. I had multiple channels. The one channel definitely still exists. If you find it, congrats. If not, I can make, like, a different video reacting to my super duper old videos. They're not that good, I'm just gonna warn you, but if you want to see that, I can do it. Technically, whenever I was, like, how old was I in 2010? 15 in 2010, so like 10 years ago, 2010 is like when I decided I kind of wanted to do it. And then, like, I started to take baseball more seriously. Then whenever I got into college, I obviously couldn't do content creation at all, because being a full-time student and a student athlete, you don't have free time to do anything. So, and then kind of like a victim of circumstances to where I am right now, because, like, if you guys don't know, I have ulcerative colitis. It's no bueno. I feel like trash more often than not, so having, like, a traditional job isn't really an option for me at this exact moment. So I just kind of decided to throw all my chips into content creation to see where it would take me, and that's where we're at right now. I've gotten partnered on YouTube, which is more than a lot of people in this realm, so I'm gonna flex that. I'm always gonna flex that. If I've accomplished something that someone else hasn't and they try to talk shit, I'm just gonna let them know I have the accolades and you don't. It's simple. So I started taking content creation recently seriously. November 13th of 2020 is when I started to upload every day, and then I've been going ever since. So over a year at the point of recording this video, I have posted a video to YouTube every day. And then let's do the other content question while we're doing stuff. Fear asks, can you give tips on how to make better thumbnails? So there are two ways to go about this. The first one is going to be like the philosophical, the ideology behind the thumbnails, and the second one is just going to be the execution, like the actual artwork put into the thumbnail. If you suck at artwork, there are YouTube tutorials on how to get better at the artwork side of it. If you need ideas, I'm just going to break it to you this way. Literally everything on social media is a trend. Now, the definition of a trend, at least the way I'm going to put it in terms of social media, is a trend is people copying other people. So if you need ideas for thumbnails, it's literally not hard. Look up what everyone else is doing for their thumbnails on the video you're trying to make. Like the class setup videos I put out, I just look up like what other people are doing for their thumbnails and then I copy it but try to put a spin on it my way. Like there's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of like graphic design 101. You take inspiration from other people, then you put it in your own way. So from the ideology standpoint, literally just look up what other people are doing, copy their ideas, make it your own. Now from the artwork standpoint, like if you suck at artwork, I don't know how to help you get better at artwork. I'm sorry. I coach baseball, I coach Call of Duty. I can motivate you to want to go do something, but as far as like telling you how to get better at art, that's not my thing. YouTube tutorials exist. If you want to look up a video on why something looks better than something else, just look up a YouTube tutorial. And then I'll just throw the third thing in there. You actually have to want to get better at making thumbnails. And basically anything like that. If you want to get better at something, you actually have to put in effort to get better at it. You can't just wait for things to happen because they're not going to happen. You just have to want to put in the work to like apply what you learn in those tutorials into the actual software where you're making it. So it's gonna come back to you. As silly as that sounds, everything is always gonna come back to you and how much work you're putting into it. Next question is from Bilo. This is a less serious question. He asks, who has the best burger? Now, I'm gonna go out and preface this. I've never had In-N-Out. I've never had Whataburger. There's probably other national chains that I'm forgetting, but I'm not mentioning them because they're not as good as you probably think they are. I'll toss Culver's in there too because I have not had Culver's and I respect them enough to mention them. So between everything else that I have had, Five Guys is a good burger. Let's get that out of the way and address that right now. Five Guys is a good burger. The thing that kills Five Guys is they are so damn expensive. So Five Guys is not going to be my answer. I'm sorry for the heart attack that I just gave a lot of you guys. Five Guys is not my answer. Do not worry. My go-to answer is probably going to be the Baconator, to be honest. Like if we're not counting like local restaurants that only I have had where like I know there's a good burger. Like there's a local restaurant called Sand Springs Saloon. They're a steakhouse and kind of like they do other stuff like that. They have a steak burger, which is like a half-pound burger made with a ground steak and then they put like fried onions and mustard and it's a pretzel bun and stuff like that. Like that would probably be my go-to answer because that burger is fucking phenomenal. But that's not gonna work for everybody because obviously I'm the only person that's had that burger. So to be honest, I'm probably just gonna go with a Baconator, man. Like I don't think you can go wrong with a Baconator. So yeah, Baconator from Wendy's. That's gonna be my final answer for that one. Best burger, Baconator. Next question is from Mr. Basti. I apologize right now because I don't know which one it is and I'm sincerely sorry. But he asks, pros versus cons of YouTube versus Twitch. Is it easier to grow visibility, that kind of thing? I already answered this question in my last Q&A. So to spare the 20-minute rant that I will go on, I'm just gonna give a TLDR, and then if you want to hear my like in-depth thoughts on it, go watch the other video. But he's not specifying streaming here. So I'm gonna just go about it like as a content creator, like my personal thoughts on both platforms and every other platform, essentially. I'm gonna keep it simple. Twitch is the worst platform. If you're a content creator, Twitch is the thing you should be worrying about the least. In terms of, what did you specifically ask about? So easier to grow and then visibility. So easier to grow? Absolutely not. You grow on Twitch by literally doing things off of Twitch. You grow on Twitch by posting YouTube videos, by posting TikToks, by posting to Instagram. If you only stream, you're probably not gonna grow on Twitch. Just straight up, there's no discoverability. You're never going to be discovered. There is nobody sitting on Twitch scrolling through 30,000 pages of streamers to find you. I'm sorry, it is the honest truth. You're not going to find people that want to watch you on Twitch just through Twitch itself, which I think is the visibility thing. Like, you are visible on Twitch, but like I said, the problem is no one's going to scroll through all those pages to find you. For the most part, if you make friends with other streamers, they're not interested in being viewers. If they're live, they're not going to watch you. If their favorite streamer is live, they're also probably not going to watch you. Like in the COD community specifically, everybody goes live at the same time, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves, being friends with a bunch of people that stream Call of Duty. They sit there on Twitter and they wonder why they aren't growing as a streamer. It's because they are literally only friends with other streamers who stream at the same time as them. If Scump is live, people aren't not going to watch Scump to watch you. I apologize, it's just the blunt truth of the matter. You are literally competing in the biggest market with the personalities that have been cemented in this for like like over a decade at this point, you're just not going to compete with them without putting in the same amount of work. And I hate to break it to you, just based on how time works, you can't put in 10 years worth of work in 2 weeks. It's just not a thing you can do. So like, that's why I'm such a heavy advocate for doing literally anything else that isn't streaming. And if you do stream, keep it to like 2 hours maximum. Give yourself other time to like do other things, like make YouTube videos, TikToks. Even though it's hard to grow on every platform, compared to Twitch, it is easier to grow on literally every other platform, especially if you have like one super duper good video that pops off. If you have a video that pops off that's going to give your channel traction, then all you have to do is just ride that traction and keep posting content. Sadly, it does not work that way with Twitch. If you get rated for 1,000 viewers on Twitch, you're going to go right back to having 5 viewers the next stream probably. Whereas opposed to YouTube, if someone likes your YouTube video, they can come watch your new upload whenever they want. It doesn't go anywhere. They can watch it on their own time. So TLDR, Twitch is not the way to grow as a content creator. If all you're doing is streaming for fun, everything I'm saying does not apply to you. But if you're trying to make content creation like some sort of a job, even part-time, even like 1/10 of part-time, you need to just not stream and focus on other platforms. And moving on to what I think is the final question from Alone, he asks, you always said the grind isn't a grind without some sort of struggle. How do you personally get over the struggle, and can you offer any tips to others going through it? So first and foremost, let's identify two different definitions. There's a struggle for a grind, and there's an obstacle for a grind. A struggle is like going to the gym and trying to bench 315, and 315 being heavy to lift. That is the struggle. How do you overcome the 315 on the bench press being heavy to lift? You work out over time, and eventually 315 starts to get lighter and lighter until one day, bam, you can bench press 315, and that's no longer the grind you're working towards. You're working towards a new grind at that point. Now moving on to the other word that I said, the obstacle part. There are multiple ways something can be an obstacle, and basically the way I look at it is if something or someone isn't actively helping me to accomplish my goal, they are in the way, thus they are an obstacle, and thus they are swiftly removed from my life. So like in the scenario I just gave about the gym, there is like one way someone can be an obstacle is that they're just sitting beside you the entire time telling you you can't do it, or there's like the extreme type of person that's literally holding the bar down, stopping you from even trying to move the bar. Either way, both of those things just need removed. So let's just quickly address that. Are we talking about something being a struggle or an obstacle? Because the struggle is necessary. You're always working through the struggle to accomplish the grind. But you can't work through an obstacle. You have to go around it, or you can move the obstacle. So I think we need to differentiate the difference between the struggle and the obstacle, because I think that's actually your problem here. And so like as far as my tips go, that's tip number 1. We need to figure out what we're actually talking about here. If something's an obstacle, get rid of it. Don't worry about it. We don't need that in our lives. If something's a struggle, you just need to figure out the best possible way and the most efficient way to work through that struggle. Because like I said last video, my biggest struggle with like content creation is like I hate making thumbnails. I hate titling and tagging my videos. The actual making the video part, the actual editing isn't the thing I hate. So for me, getting through the struggle is like just motivating myself to just finish the fucking project and get it over with. And then of course other people have different types of struggles like that. Like there are people that have content blocks. There are people like Fear earlier that asked about thumbnails and stuff like that, how to make better thumbnails. If you want to learn how to do something, the tools are available on the internet. You can just look it up and figure out how to be an expert at basically anything. But when it comes to like ideas and stuff like that, that's where a lot of people tend to struggle. So that more so comes down to like you have to have a heart-to-heart with yourself and figure out what do you actually want to make. That is going to be my final answer for that one. And looking through, I think that's all the questions that were asked. My voice is kind of shot, so thank God that's the last question. If you guys have any other questions you want me to answer over time, the comment section's down below. My Twitter is always available. Keep an eye out for the next time I make one of these videos, which is probably going to be in about a month. I would like to do monthly updates here on the channel, giving like a State of the Union address on what's going on here. So one final time, we're trying to work towards 2,000 subscribers. We're trying to average 100 views. I'm trying to join Obey Alliance. All the questions have been answered. All the things that I want to do have been addressed. So without wasting any more time, I hope you guys have a great day. I will talk to you in the next video. Peace.